Hey everyone, this is Steve from Grizzly Panda Marketing. Welcome back to our How to Market on WeChat for Foreign Business series. This is the second video. We're going to talk about official accounts. But if you haven't watched the first video, I highly recommend that you check that out first and then come back to this video. So in the first video, we ended up talking about the importance of getting the right mindset and the right philosophy of marketing on WeChat, and that the best way to market on WeChat is to use a lot of content, and the best way to distribute content is to use official account. So today in this video, we're going to talk about the 3 different types of WeChat official accounts, which one is best for your business, and how you as a foreign business owner can acquire these accounts. So without wasting any more time, let's get started. Now, in WeChat, there are actually 3 different types of WeChat official accounts. There's an enterprise official account, there's a subscription official account, and then there is a service official account. In this video, and for the purpose of marketing on WeChat, we're not going to talk about the enterprise account, as that is purely for communication within large enterprise organizations. The other 2 accounts that we are focusing on is the subscription and the service account. They're very similar, but the service account has a lot more features, and the purpose for each account is a little bit different, which we're going to talk about a little later. But first, we're going to talk about what the subscription account is. There are actually 2 different types of subscription account. There is the individual subscription account, and then there is the verified business subscription account. There are only 2 minor differences between a verified and an individual subscription account. The first one being that in order to get a verified account, you must have a verified business. The second one being that is on the homepage of your subscription account, with a verified business, you get a little menu on the bottom, where with an individual, you don't get that menu. Now, the difference are very small in between these 2. It's not something that you really should worry about. What is more important is to talk about the difference between a subscription and a service account. So first, the biggest and the most important difference between the 2 accounts is where they appear on WeChat. So here's a screenshot, and this is what everybody sees once they log into WeChat. So they see their group chats and other chats that they have with their friends. The subscription accounts are all kind of bundled together within one of the tabs called the subscription account tab. For a business owner wanting to create a subscription account to distribute content, you have to remember your account does not show up on the list for the user unless they have followed you first. So they must first notice you and then follow you, and then your list will show up on the subscription account. The second key difference, and this is actually a very big difference, is on a subscription account, you can push 1 content per day, where with a service account, you don't actually get to push 1 content per day. It's actually much less than that. The last one is with a verified subscription account. Now, this doesn't apply to individual. If you have an individual subscription account, that's it. That's all you can do. You can push 1 content a day. But if you have a verified account, you actually get these little buttons that you see on the bottom of your subscription homepage. In this case, this is H&M China. They have 3 little buttons. One says go to their shop. One is I heart H&M. I don't know what it does. But you get these 3 little buttons on the bottom of your WeChat official account homepage, and then you can link it to wherever you like. Now, again, this only applies to verified subscription account. Now let's talk about service account. Service account is actually a lot more robust. It has a lot more features. So again, the key difference between a service account and a subscription account is where they appear on WeChat. So again, this is a screenshot of the homepage, but this time we included a couple service accounts that you can see. So first, you still see the subscription account in the list of chats, but then you see 3 different service accounts, actually maybe even 4. I'm not sure where Crypt is, but you see 4 different or 3 different service accounts that kind of appear as if it's a regular chat to the user. Now, obviously, just like subscription account, you as a user still have to follow that service account before you actually see it on the list of your chats. But once you do that, the service account do not show up in the list of subscriptions. Instead, it shows up as a regular chat. So this is one of the key benefits, and it's actually pretty cool because anything that you have, any updates that you do on your service account, it shows up as a notification right away on their home screen, as opposed to somebody has to go into the subscription and then see the updates of the subscription account. So another difference, like I said, is unfortunately with service accounts, you cannot push out one content per day. There's a limit of 4 contents per month. This is a downside to the service account, and in our opinion, the only downside to the service account. Every service account has custom menu. So again, like the verified subscription account, you get your custom menu at the bottom of your service account homepage. However, with service account, you get multiple tiers of menu. You don't only get the 3 button on the bottom, but you can actually have one of the button to show up more menus and more items that user can kind of click on it and go to the page that you want them to go to. So again, we're going to use the same picture for H&M. This time we're going to show you the second tier menu, which is when you click on their H&M shop button, which is all the way on the right hand side, the one beside I Heart H&M. When you click on that, a menu will pop up, and then there's a list of categories and list of promotions that they have that you can click on, which goes to their shop or goes to H&M China's website. So now we're going to talk about a few features that are only available on service account, and these are the features that's what makes service accounts so powerful. First of all, unlike subscription account, you get real-time push notifications. What these are is whenever you do an update or you do a push of a content on your service account, it will create a notification just like as if your friend has messaged you. So for all of us who uses smartphone, whether it's Android, whether it's iPhone, but even Blackberries, they all have notification that goes on the top. So whenever you get emails, whenever you get alerts from certain apps, there are notification that pops up that tells you that you have received a new message. Well, with the service account, every time you do an update, even if they're not in their WeChat app, the update gets pushed into that notification list. So this is a really cool part about the service account. And so even with the 4 content that you can push every month only, these 4 content will get notified even if the user is not looking at their WeChat account. So another cool feature is that you actually get a personal Siri. Now, it's not as advanced as Siri on iPhone, but it kind of does the same thing. Basically, with the service account, a user can come and send a recorded message just like they would do as their friends and ask a question, and then you can have a preset of answering message or robotic scripts that will reply them in terms of what they're looking for, right? So an example of this is China Bank, and what they do is with their WeChat official service account, they would allow the user to kind of ask for their bank balance. So a user will go into the thing and say, well, what is my bank balance today? And the machine will reply back, it's 2,484 in a very robotic way, but it does the job, right? Another cool thing about the service account is the templated messages. It is essentially the same thing as voice, except there's no voice, it's just message. So this is kind of like auto reply emails. Just think of it as if you were out of the office, you will set an auto reply, and if somebody try to send you an email, they get an automatic reply to tell them that you're no longer in the office for whatever period of time. So this is kind of the same, except it's a little bit more intelligent. So a user can come to your service account, they can type in some questions, and there's pre-populated message that will reply them accordingly. So the last little nugget of this WeChat service account is the ability to actually build and operate an e-commerce store right on WeChat, having WeChat to handle all your payment processes for you. Now, the way the magic works is these are actually literally just HTML and CSS pages that are hosted by Tencent, except that you can only do it on WeChat, and the downside is WeChat don't actually provide any tools to allow you to build these platforms easily. Unless you know how to code, the only other alternative is to use another kind of a platform. One of them is called Wechat, to kind of build them with kind of drag and drop tools. So if you ever used Wix or Shopify in the US, well, we believe these are drag and drop website builders. Wechat is essentially the same. Now, Wechat is not the only platform. There's actually a couple, maybe even a dozen of them out there in China that you can use. they all charge you a little bit of fee to build and manage your WeChat store for you. But once you build it, you're literally up and running, and you can be selling your products right on WeChat. Finally, the biggest question we get from all our foreign business owners is, which account should you use for your marketing to China? And the answer we almost always give is that you should use both if you can. Now, with the correct documentations, you can literally set up 25 different WeChat accounts, and you can set them up in however way you want. You can create some subscription account, or you can create a bunch of service accounts. Although realistically, you only need one subscription and one service account. So there's really no reason to not set up both, unless it is really hard for you to actually acquire official account, which is we're gonna talk about a little bit later. But if it's easy for you to get them, the best way to do this is to have both accounts. And the reason is simple. Each account, the subscription account and the service account, will act as very different parts of your overall marketing strategy on WeChat, right? So if we're gonna do a content-driven strategy, we need a part that will distribute the content, and we also need a part that actually does the promotion. And here's how we do it for many of our clients. We always use the subscription account to do all the jabbings. So if you remember from video 1, jabbing just means delivery of content. Because the subscription account is designed in a way to allow you to distribute 1 content per day versus the service account, you can only do 4 the whole month. Subscription account is much more ideal for distributing content. So what you really need to do is to be ability to distribute many different content throughout a period of time, and some of them people are gonna love, some of them are gonna cause people to follow you and engage with you, and then you can build a relationship. And then after all of that has been done, and after you have built that trust and credibility with your user and build that brand awareness, and eventually some of them will actually buy and try out your services, right? But without doing all of that, the chance of you trying to pitch them on your product and services is very little, unless you have a huge brand that's already established. So if you're Apple, probably you don't need this, and you probably wouldn't be listening to this anyway. So for the service account is where we do the hooks. The good thing about service account, like I said, is not only you can create a e-commerce platform, you can do automatic servicing. That's why it's called a service account. You can answer customer service questions using personalized Siri and templated messages. Another good thing about the service account is the real-time push notification. Even though a service account can only push 4 pieces of content the whole month, but these 4 pieces of content gets pushed onto the notification of the phone. So anytime you do a promotion, after you do all your content on the subscription account, you do your promotion on your service account. And if you have done the right job to do all your brand building and trust and stuff, the users are more likely to kind of look at your promotion and try your service. So this is how we kind of set it up for ourselves and for our clients. We use both of the account, and we use the subscription for the content, and we use the service for more of the business and the promotion aspects of things. Now, obviously, the next thing you want to know as a foreign business owner is how the heck are you actually going to set up one of these accounts for your own business? And the truth of the matter is, it's actually really hard, especially if you're a foreign business owner. So nothing in China is easy. China is kind of known for the amount of license you need to operate anything in China. And unfortunately, this is also true if you want an official WeChat account. In order for you to get a WeChat account in China, you actually need 2 pieces of ID. And these 2 pieces of ID are generally hard to get for foreign business owners. The first piece of ID is you actually need a Chinese business license that's a registered business in China. Now, this one is not so hard to get. You can actually register your foreign business as a local business in China, but there are some costs involved into that. The second piece of ID you'll need, however, is a Chinese ID. Okay, so this is a residency ID and a citizenship ID. Unfortunately, this is something that's really hard to get, especially if you're a foreign business and you're a foreign business owner. Obviously, you're not going to get one of these ID. However, if you don't have either one of these ID or you don't have both of these ID, don't worry. There are actually 3 different ways that you can still acquire an WeChat official account without either one of these ID. Now, the first option you have is just to register a company in China. Now, the problem with this is the Chinese government requires a large amount of investment for you to do that, and it takes up to 6 months. However, if money is not an issue for you and you don't really care that it takes 6 months and you're willing to take the risk to set up everything just to get a WeChat account, then this is a good option to go for. But if you don't really want that, the second option you have is to really rent a license from a local Chinese business. Now, the way this works is because any registered Chinese business with a legal license can actually register up to 25 different WeChat accounts. Now, no business in China is actually going to need all 25 of these accounts. So what they do is they rent it out to foreign business owners that wants a WeChat account. The way it works is you will pay them about $500 US, and the price may vary depending on who you're talking to, and they will lend you their license to create your WeChat account. Now, the good thing about this is with their license and you create your account, you still get to keep your brand name and your logo on the account. The downside about this is because your account is ultimately still created with their license, that they have the right to remove it anytime they want. Which means that if for whatever reason they decided that they don't want to rent their license to you anymore, or they don't want you to have your account anymore, I don't know why, but for whatever reason these things happen, they can literally call Tencent and to get your account closed down, because again, legally it is under their license and you don't have a license. So this means that all the works that you have done, all the content or pay advertisement, all the followers that you have worked hard to get will be gone. The third option, and in our opinion the best option, is really just to go through the Tencent foreign business process. This costs you about $300 to verify your business, but the downside is not every business gets approved by Tencent. Now, if you want to know if your business is qualified and what it takes to go through the process, feel free to send us an email and we'll answer any questions you have. Other than that, this wraps up our second video of how to market your foreign businesses with WeChat. In the third video, we're going to talk about pay advertisement and how to do pay advertisement on WeChat, and how to amplify all the contents you created with your subscription and with your service account. So if you have any question about this video still, or you want to tell us something that we have not covered in this video, or if we made a mistake about what we talked about, feel free to leave us a comment below this video and we'll get back to you. Other than that, that's it. We'll see you next video.